Let's break this down now. We're going to break some of this down with our guest who's joining us now for more on the FTX fallout. We have Kavita Gupta, Delta Blockchain Fund founder, general partner, and an equity holder in FTX. So thank you for joining us today, Kavita. So first, what have you heard so far? As an equity holder, what sort of correspondence have you heard so far?
I mean, like any other investors, the last week, literally watching whatever is happening on crypto, right? I mean, it's through different funds, and most of the bigger funds, we were like very back in the time, but like even Series B, Series C investors, which have gone into $32 billion valuations, they are seeing it as it's unfolding on Twitter, basically. It seems like a war of ideologies, the war of a little bit of ego between the two big CEOs. But as you say, like when you go on a war, you better kill one. So seems like CZ has pretty much used his FTX investments, which has been approximately $400 million FTT tokens, which he has been holding in Alameda. And there has been this friction going on for last couple of weeks, where you can see on Twitter where Alameda CEO asked that they can buy it for $25 from Binance or CZ, and then they accepted on-chain transactions, and then suddenly you started seeing a lot of shorting happening after that, which literally triggered that Binance wiped out the Alameda's book and had the cascading impact, which literally happened with FTT and now with what we are seeing with FTX. So the cascading impact is yet to be seen. It's, I mean, from $32 billion earlier in January, February, to where are we going to be with this deal? And another thing I want to underline, which a lot of people are not talking about, this is a non-binding letter of intent. It's not a deal on the table. There is no valuation yet on the table. So if CZ decides to walk away tomorrow, FTX is still dead. And FTT is for sure looks like going to be wiped out.
So, Kavita, if this deal, in fact, does not happen, what does that mean for the crypto market? And I guess how big of a game changer, then, could this potentially be for the entire industry?
I think it will be a big game changer, but mostly the alternative tokens, especially we are talking about Solana. We are talking about the really big investments FTX has announced in last 2 years in some of the biggest alternative chains and projects. Has those investments been done in FTT locked tokens? Were they cash? Where does it take it? There is going to be a huge cascading impact. And most importantly, we keep on talking about FTX, and we are actually not talking about Alameda, because Alameda is where a lot of lenders have actually given money. So it's very similar to what the cascading impact we saw 3AC to investors, lenders, and all the way to retail customers. How is that going to play out through Alameda and FTT tokens is yet to be seen.
Kavita, trust is an essential element in most markets. Probably the crypto segment more so than anything else. How has trust been impacted by today's events?
I think as an investor, as a player in the space for long, like you have to see a lot of people on crypto Twitter talking about centralized exchange versus decentralized exchange. It wouldn't, like, you just cannot stop taking money out, what has happened with the exchanges in the past or the lender's book in the past on the decentralized part. But we also have seen that that is not perfect. So I feel like in this case, it is like any other failing economy. When the banks stop giving you money, what do? You know, as like growing up in India during demonetization, we saw that suddenly you woke up and you suddenly cannot take more than 1,000 rupees a day and you are stuck with your life. It is going to be very, very hard for a lot of institutions, a lot of startups, a lot of hedge funds and VCs who have their money in their funds money in FTX, because if you can't withdraw it, is it a short-term impact on you? Is it a long-term impact on you? If the deal doesn't go through, then definitely, like, how much liquidation is going to take care of the lender's money?
And Kavita, what do you think this means in terms of scrutiny from...
Sorry, please go ahead.
What I was going to ask... Sure. What do you think this means in terms of scrutiny from regulators when you have so much concentrated with one company like an FTX or like a Binance? What does this do for the crypto landscape?
You know, it is going to be a regulatory field day And some part of it is right, some part of it is wrong. I mean, this is not good for the overall crypto economy, right? And so from the regulator perspective, again, it comes down to FTX US is separate than FTX Global. And one of the reason Binance probably, and I'm just thinking it aloud, didn't want the US part because that's the regulatory part. The rest of the FTX is not that much regulatory as FTX US. So they are happy to go down with that and don't want to deal with the regulation part of US. So going back to your question, yes, it is. It has always been 4 or 5 exchanges really ruling the space. But this is also one of the first time when such a huge centralized exchange seems like to go down. After Mt. Gox, this is a huge bloodbath, more than 3AC, to be very honest, the way I see it, because we have not yet seen the cascading impact of it on the institutions, on the big crypto VCs, especially multi-billion-dollar crypto VCs, both with respect to their investment companies, their money in FTX, and also their investment in FTX. I think over next 3-4 days, we're going to see a lot of things moving more in the red zone in a much bigger level.